Today's youth need teachers, volunteers, and most of all, well, they need you. I'm Doug Edwards, and I'm going to be talking with real youth mentors and students to give you the knowledge you need to be the best youth worker possible. This is Youth Worker on Fire.
Oh, you're trying to bring me down and run me out of town. You're taking what you want, but you can't take my rhythm now. I'm walking to my own beat, just gonna be me. I'm not replicating nobody. You wanna be like me.
So it's hot outside, guys. And you know what we do when school is started, and school is in different places. I have a nephew who went across the country and one of his friends on a football scholarship, and they're in Kansas. And we've got others that have gone back to school, going back to college over the next few weeks. And we have high schools and middle schools and already started all the schools in different parts of the nation that have already started this week or last week. And it's still hot. And you're doing some kind of student ministry, or you're a parent and you're working with your children, you're getting all these things done. And here's what I'm going to tell you to do. When you're in the hot sun, the first thing that we need to do, and we live in Florida and it is really hot here, is we need to find shade. We need to find some place that we are not going to basically get our body completely depleted. And what we do spiritually is the same thing. Right now we're going, everything started, we got to keep running, we got to go. And I'll tell you this, a little time with the Lord and resting will go a long way in the beginning of this year. Matthew 11:28-30, you'll hear me talk about that a lot. Come to me, Jesus said, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And what I love is that part where it says, and you will find rest for your souls. Now, your first intention and thought is, we got to run hard now. We got to run fast. And some of that is true. But I'll tell you, each part of each day, you need to find a place to stay calm, to stay cool, and to get rest. I'm not talking about your all night sleeping, even though many of you need to get a lot more sleep than you're getting. But I'm talking about that you need to get somewhere in the morning and spend a few minutes and maybe a half an hour if you can, where it's cool, where you can think, where you're not just sweating and worried about what you're going to do next. Even those who are not believers in Jesus Christ have picked up on the importance of meditation. But we know that there's a greater power because we have the Holy Spirit in us. And if we take time to rest and we lean in on Him, He in turn leans in on us and fills us up so that we can get through that day and feel rested as we go. Because it's true, you're going to be running hard. You're going to be chasing your students, your children, all these different things, deadlines. You're already having to collect money for trips that are coming up and events that are coming up and all this stuff. Summer is over, even though we're still at the hottest part of the summer. So when the heat and the hot start bothering you, let it be a reminder to find a quiet place and rest. And I'll remind you of something I've said before about my life. When I was a junior in college, I remember when I said, God, 3 times a day, I'm going to be with you no matter what I'm missing, no matter if I'm prepared for something that's coming up or not. My time with you is non-negotiable. And so in the morning when I got up and at noon or around lunchtime, before I would go to eat or before I'd go to class, I'd go to the chapel at the university that I was at Appalachian State. There was a chapel. It's a whole different building now. I couldn't even find a chapel the last time I was there. There might be one, but you couldn't see it. But there's churches all around, and some of those churches were open. The Episcopal church there was open 24/7, and you'd find students up in there all the time, and resting and having Bible studies and different things because the sanctuary was open. It wasn't the biggest church there, but it was the most open and friendly church that said, we understand students have a need for rest. They have a need for peace. And so there might be places like that, whether you're in a university town or you're just in any old place. And I would find places in my ministry where people could not find me, but where I could be cool and collected and hear from God. And I found that my day would organize a lot better and good things would happen when I would focus on Him. And no matter how hot it got, whether that was emotionally, physically, or spiritually hot, if I would just take a break, get close to Him, even for a few minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, as much time as you can get there, the more time you spend with Him, the more impacting the Holy Spirit is on you, the more insight you'll have, and the more you'll get done, and the more people that will be drawn to you, because all people are looking for peace. And when they sense it in someone else, they are drawn to them. And the Holy Spirit will give you peace. People will be drawn to you because they'll see it in your face. They'll feel it when you come into their presence. And nothing that you're going to do except be in the presence of God. So remember when it's hot, 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 that you are to take a break every day, and sometimes 3 times a day if you can do it. The more time you spend with Him, the more that's going to get done in this school year or this fiscal year. So remember that. Come to me, all you who are weary, Jesus said, and burdened, and I will give you rest, and you will find rest for your souls. All righty. Have a great day. See you next week on Youth Worker on Fire.
You've been listening to the Youth Worker on Fire podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and tell your friends. Also, leave a comment and tell us what you think. Stay tuned for more informative episodes.